everyone, it's Sue here and welcome to the third video in the series called Bible Art Guide. So what it is I'm creating a place for me to document the different scripture that I use in my Bible art. So that's what it's all about. And these videos are going to be over on His Kingdom Come. So if you search for His Kingdom Come, you will find these videos on the Bible Journaling Group tab. And there's a lot of great stuff over there. So, definitely come on over and see us. So this is what the inside of the Bible cover looks like so far. So now, what I started to do, and I'm not at all happy with it, is I cut out my piece of mail, right, that I decided to use for my pocket. And I started using gelatos on it. And it just was not vibrant like I wanted it to be. So I decided to just pull out my Gansite Tambi watercolors and look at the difference. Oh my gosh, what a difference. I mean, there's no comparison, really. Okay, try to do this where I'm not gonna make mud or anything, because that's always a possibility. All right, so let's see what we have here. I'll go with this one. So these watercolors are definitely a little on the expensive side, but you can certainly, from Michael's get, their, what is it called? Artist Loft watercolors for, $5 or $6, but with a coupon, even less than that. So don't let, it hold you back that what I'm using happens to be just a little bit expensive. I got these on sale. So I was, found a good deal. And I was like, oh I'm going to get them. All right. Some of our products are investments, right? For sure. All right. So I do like that. Much better. So I'm going to hit it with the heat tool, and then I'm going to pull out my Bible again, and we're going to look at the inside cover. Now, you're going to see, because this is what I envision in my head, so I'm sure that it will be like I envision, only because I know how I am with color. Okay, so watch this. Okay, so this is nicely colored, right? Now on here, doesn't this just look like too black and white? It's just too plain. It's just too plain. So before we go and we put that down, we're going to add some color to the inside of this. It's almost looking like a coloring book to me, just waiting for some color. But I'm not gonna, get too particular here. I'm going to use the same watercolor, the Gansite Tambi, and just get down some color. And I will be able to blend this out just a bit, because I do have some of the matte medium down on here, so it's going to allow, for some movement on the paper. And look at that. Well, I don't know why I just sounded surprised. The reddish color with the yellow is certainly creating an orange. And I like that. Let me try to get a little bit more of nice bright yellow on here. Down here. Nice. I'm liking this. I am liking this. Okay, that looks good. Bring in a little bit more color up here. Go on to the next page here too. Ooh, is that gorgeous or what? Okay, so I'm going to move my water to the other side of me so that you can see this. All right, I want to keep this wet because I don't want it to dry because, well, once it dries, I can still liquefy it with water, but let's just keep it nice and wet. And the reason I say that you could still liquefy it with water is because it is watercolor. All right, let's get some nice bright yellow on here. And remember, the pocket's going to go on the bottom here. And up top here, I don't want to get it all over the cover like I am. So just want to be careful. And I want to get some yellow on the side over here. And again, I just want to be a little careful and do some blending to bring in that orange. Now, I do want to go around this whole white edge here in case some of it shows through under the pocket. So I'm just going to put a little coat of yellow on there, just in case. Okay. And let's finish up top here. I'm going to actually pull in a little bit of orange. All right. You know what? I want a little bit more red on this side. Okay. Nice. All right. So now, this is actually going to seem a little dull now, but I like that look much, much, much better. So I'm going to hit this with the heat tool, and you'll see as this dries, it isn't as vibrant as it looks when it's wet, but it's still going to be looking real good. I can see up here, I want to just fix that up top there just a little bit in that corner. But you can see, it's starting to dull down. Which I think is typical of watercolor paint. But I like it. I hope you guys do too. And again, if you don't have, like a watercolor paint, use your watercolor pencils or your neocolors or anything that's water soluble. Definitely pull it out and use it. All right. Isn't that interesting? It made a mark there. I guess maybe is that because, I guess it could be because of the way I have the matte medium on there. I guess it's possible, or the way the tissue paper is soaking it up. That'll all have an effect on the way that the paint looks. Okay, now we've got it. So I'm going to adhere this pocket. And there's one thing I want to do to the pocket before I put it on here. So I'm going to move this over to the side. I'm going to move my watercolor first. And then get this to the side. And there's one more thing I want to do with the pocket. And what I want to do is pull in one of these stencils from His Kingdom Come from their Faith Art shop. And this one happens to be this right here, kneeling on the throne. And so it has the negatives and the positives. So here are the pieces that came out of here. So they give you quite an assortment to work with. So this is kneeling while praising, right? So a form of worship. And I'm going to use my watering can archival ink. This is my second favorite color ink of all time. I use it all the time. And a makeup sponge, and real gentle. I just want to get a little bit. I always say I want to get a little bit, and then it turns out being a lot. But I do want to get a faint but nice coverage on here. And what you can do too, if you wanted this to really stand out, well, first of all, you could make it, really prominent with this watering can color. But the second thing that you could do is, once this is done, take like a black pen or something and do the outline of the stencil, and that will also make it pop much more as well. But in my case, I don't want it to be, real stand out. Okay, so that's it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. They have several of these sets of stencils. Let me show you this again. Look at this. Look at these different sets. I'm going to hold it up for you. I'm going to go real slow so that you can see them. I love these. I have 3 of them, 3 different sets. Oh my gosh. And when I use them, I just find it very breathtaking. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh gosh. It almost gives me the chills, to tell you the truth, in a good way. Good chills, right? Good chills. All right. So I'm just going to hit that with the heat tool, and we're going to adhere it onto the page. And that is going to be it for our pocket. And then our last video is going to be making the tag. So look at that. Look at how gorgeous that looks. It looks really beautiful. All right, I'm going to take the same adhesive, my tacky glue, and, let me move this so you can see. And in this case, I'm going to put it all over the back, because I do want it to stick down well. I'm actually going to take my finger, make sure it gets up to the edges and the corners. And when you smear out wet adhesive like this, it's going to help it from getting pockets or lumpy, although it really wouldn't show, only because there's another side to it, right? It's not going to show through. But if you were doing something where it was just one layer of paper, you definitely want to make sure that you smear out your glue so it doesn't make the paper lumpy. All right. I have everything right now sticking to my finger. Look at this. I have like all this paper stuck to me. Okay, let me get this in the right spot. So I cut it so it wasn't right up against the spine here, because I didn't want it to interfere with it opening and closing. So I'm just going to push down, and I'll probably maybe even just like close this over and let it just set. So that's it. That is the inside with the color on it, with the pocket. And the next and last video is going to be working on this tag. I have to cut the tag down because it's too long. We're going to somehow put some color on this. And this is where I'm going to be documenting what scripture I already did Bible art journaling with, and maybe some special little notes. But this pocket is just going to slip right in there. So I hope you can see that okay. Of course, it's going to be cut down. It's not going to be sticking out like that. Okay, so that is it for this video. Look at, oh, isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love the bright color. Very, very, very nice. Okay, thanks everybody. Remember to head over to His Kingdom Come. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do.